Welcome to session on input devices. What is input unit? Input units are used for giving input to the computer. Computer requires various data and programs or inputs from the user or other sources. So, user or other sources can give data to the computer through input devices. So, computer does not know our language. So, what is done is that the input devices translate the data that we give into a form or into a language that computer can understand. You know what is a language computer can understand? Yeah, it's machine language. So, whatever data we give through input devices will be translated into machine language and is given to the computer. Next, we shall see what are the different types of input devices. As I already said, input can be provided by the users or it can be provided through other sources. Based on that, input devices can be classified into two. One is human data entry devices. Second one is source data entry devices. From the term itself, it's clear that this requires the interaction of human and the computer. But in the case of source entry, human interaction is not needed. This human data entry devices can be classified into three. One is typing device, which is a commonly used input device, keyboard. Next one is pointing device. So that can be used for pointing to different points in or different locations in a computer screen. Next one is pick devices. Pointing devices are coming in different types. One is mouse, trackball, joystick, digitizing, tablet. We shall see more about this later. Next, pick devices. Pick devices can be used for selecting or picking some content or data from the computer. For example, light pen, touch screen. Next is source data entry devices. So there the data will be inputted in the form of audio, that is audio input device, video input device, last one optical input device. The word optical means light. So there the input media is light. Optical data input devices are of different categories. One is scanner, OCR, MICR, OMR, barcode reader, etc. We shall see each in detail. As we said, we'll be discussing on human data entry devices and source data entry devices. Human data entry devices requires the interaction between human and the computer. So there the human will be entering the data. He may be typing the data or he may be pointing a particular device for sending some information or picking, etc. So these all devices comes under human data entry devices. So first one, typing device, which is keyboard. The most commonly used keyboard is QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY. So, QWERTY keyboard, the name came because in the keyboard you can see that the alphabets sequence is like this: QWERTY. This is the first line in keyboard where the alphabets starts. So it is called QWERTY keyboard. As you all know, keyboard is mainly used for inputting text data, for typing, and you can use arrow keys for moving, and the special keys are also there. So you are all familiar about this all sections: typing keys, number keys, function keys, control keys, special purpose keys, etc. Now we shall see the working of a keyboard. You know, when we press a key, what is happening? When we press a key, the keyboard will interact with the controller of the keyboard, which is called keyboard controller. Every device is associated with a device controller. So here the controller is called keyboard controller. And this keyboard controller will store the code of the key we pressed. For example, if you're pressing A, so there is a specific code for this letter A. This code will be stored in keyboard buffer, and the information will be passed to the computer software that a key has been pressed. Now what the computer software do? It checks it reads the buffer to see what is the code of the key pressed. So corresponding to that, action is taken. When we type, we used to type multiple words. For example, what is your name? WHAT space IS. Similarly, we'll be typing very fast. You know, the there's the that processing of the software and the typing um, may not be in a sequence, or you can tell that there will be some time gap between the typing and the processing. So when you press so many letters, these all codes will be stored in keyboard buffer. That is, keyboard buffer can store multiple data. That is the code of multiple keys. Next, we will be discussing about pointing devices. Mouse. This is a familiar pointing device. We are all familiar with different types of mouses: physical mouse, optical mouse. Most of them will be having two or three buttons at the top, or sometimes a wheel can be also seen at the top. So what is the difference between physical mouse and optical mouse? Physical mouse is nowadays very rarely used. Physical mouse usually have a rubber ball at the bottom, below the mouse. That's a rubber ball. And we use mouse pad, and the surface should be much cleaner. Some restrictions are there when we use physical mouse. Optical mouse, as a term specifies, it is based on light. Nowadays you can see the mouse. Underneath the mouse you can see a light coming out. It is the light coming from a light emitting diode, and there are various sensors for detecting the movement of the mouse. So that was introduced only later in 1999. Now we shall see the working of different mouses. First one, physical mouse. As we said, there are rollers and sensors. These rollers, when we move the mouse, the rollers will be also rolling, and it can sense horizontal movement of the mouse as well as vertical movement of the mouse. The information will be passed accordingly, and the cursor, you can see the cursor moving in that direction. And there are sensors. We will quickly move the mouse, or we will um, yeah, we will move that way, that direction, this direction. So all the speed changes will be sensed by the sensor in the physical mouse. Optical mouse, no, as I already said, is based on light. So you can see light underneath the mouse, and when we move the mouse, there will be some hindrance or some changes in the light. That light may be cut off at some point, or it will be moving rapidly. Based on that, the information will pass to the computer. Next one, trackball. You can see here trackball. It's almost like upside down mouse. In the physical mouse, as I said, there is a ball at the bottom, I mean underneath. Here the ball is at the top, and the advantage of trackball is that you need not move this trackball to change the direction of the cursor, but you just rotate the ball using finger, so it can change the direction of the cursor in the screen. And this is mainly used if you don't have much space to move. I mean, in the case of mouse, you need lot many space for the movement of the mouse. Here it is mainly used in laptops. This is mostly a stationary device. Then yeah, that's all. Almost similar to mouse, but as I said, it is like inverted mouse or upside down mouse. Next one is joystick. This is mainly used for playing video games. There is a handle at the top that can be moved, tilted, or to change the position and speed of the movement of cursor. And it's mainly used for controlling the speed of the cursor in racing, for example, computer racing, car racing, etc. You can change the direction as well as speed using this. Direction of push and amount of deflection of the stick will determine the position. The position changes and the change in speed of the game or particular source. Next is digitizing tablet. You can see a digitizing tablet has two parts. One is this electronic tablet part. Other one is the pen. So it's mainly used for inputting drawings and sketches. It is mainly used in CAD, computer aided design. Then you can move this pen and draw various sketches. These movements will be converted into digital signals to the computer. When we move the pen at different points in the tablet, there's a corresponding position in screen also. When you put a drawing in the tablet, it will be mapped to the screen. So suppose you sketch a building in the tablet, the similar sketch can be mapped into computer screen also. Next we'll be discussing about PIC devices. First one, light pen. So light pen has a photo cell at the tip. It is also used for drawing, graphics, and for menu solutions. This pen can be moved, and the light from the screen will make the photo cell respond, and the corresponding sketches can be done. Next is touch screen. We are all familiar with such a screen because we all go to ATM and withdraw money, etc. So how it is working, we shall see. When we touch the screen, there are infrared beams on the surface. So when we touch the screen, the beams will be broken, and based on that, the particular item is selected. For example, if you press, suppose a balance inquiry option, infrared beam across that menu will be cut down and the menu will be selected, and the corresponding action will be taken. Next is source data entry devices. Audio input devices, video input devices, and optical input devices. No, this does not require human, because it can accept data in the form of audio, video, or other sources. Audio input devices, through microphone, audio can be provided. It can be played. So this all requires sound card that is needed for converting audio signal into digital codes. uh, One of the main use is for translating words, spoken words, into text. Other one, video input device. This is the role played by video camera and digital camera. Webcam can capture video, and that will be stored in the computer, or that will be imported in the computer automatically, like this. Next is optical input devices. Scanner, OCR, MICR, OMR, barcode reader, etc. No scanner. There are different types of scanners for scanning text documents. Handheld scanner, flatbed scanner, etc. So they can all use for converting hard copy or printed notes into soft copy. OCR is optical character recognition. So here the importance is that here, when you give a printed page, OCR will convert it into editable text. So how it is happening? No, this OCR will be given to the, this printer paper is given to the OCR system. It will convert the printed paper material into bitmap image. Finally, that bitmap image will be converted to editable text. So the speciality here is that the text content can be further edited. It is not in the form of image, but in the form of, maybe you can imagine it in the form of a Word document or notepad, etc. Next is magnetic ink character recognition. So you can see this. This is a check, bank check. Yeah, you might have seen at the bottom of the bank check there are some special writings. These writings are done using magnetic ink, and these writings can be read using a device called magnetic ink character reader. So MICR is mainly used in bank for processing large amount of check, so that it can automatically read the details of bank issuing the check, branch number, check number. That only the other details need to be fed. It is much faster than OCR. OMR. So this is mainly used for examinations involving multiple choice, like OMR examination we are familiar with. So here what is happening is that there is specially designed paper that is called OMR sheet with specific columns for marking data, and this OMR reader will be reading this OMR sheet. It will detect the mark on the paper, it will check whether it is on position, and based on that the marks or information will be given to the computer, and the data in the OMR sheet will be processed. So this is also based on the principle of light, because OMR reader will be emitting light and detecting the mark. Next is barcode reader. So here also the basic principle is light itself. So here, barcodes, right? So barcodes are having vertical lines which are having different thickness and spacing. This thickness and spacing all will be having unique codes, and based on this code, the barcode reader will be, a barcode reader will be analyzing this, reading this code, and based on that, the processing can be done. This is also through light, and mainly used in supermarket, bookstores, etc., for storing the details about the item without typing the entire thing. So that is all about input devices. So far we have seen human data entry devices, source data entry devices. Thank you for now.